Hello everyone, so this is my first video that I've made when I'm talking to the camera, so if I seem kind of awkward, that's why. So this is a sewing tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make these little stuffed owls. And it's really easy. You can make a little one, medium-sized one, or a really big one like this. And it only has 2 pattern pieces. They look like this. And I'll have a link where you can print it, and you can resize it to whatever you want. So I'm just going to make a little one, and the pattern I'm using is going to come out to about this size. So first I'll show you everything that you need. Obviously you'll need the pattern pieces and 2 different fabrics. Usually I use a plain one and then a pattern one. And then 2 different shades of brown felt for the eyes, a little piece of yellow felt for the beak, and then a piece of felt for the bottom that kind of matches your fabric, so I'm using purple. And then for the pupil, like right here, there's a bunch of different things you can use. You can just paint it on or use a piece of black felt. This one has little beads glued on. This one has safety eyes. I'll show you what safety eyes are. They look like this. They have 2 pieces. Basically, you put this through the fabric and put this on the back. And it's called a safety eye because once it's latched onto these ridges, it will not come out. So that's what you want to use if you're making a toy for a baby like this one. It's really soft, made of fleece, and it has safety eyes so they can't rip them out. I'm going to use these. They're called embellishment brads. They look like this. They're just a circle on the front, and then you poke this through the fabric, and then these little prongs open up like that. So you just open them up flat, and it holds it in. That's what I used on this one. So I'm just going to do that. And you're also going to need some stuffing to stuff it at the end. And to put the whole thing together, you're going to need a needle and thread, scissors, glue, and a sewing machine. Okay, so I'm going to start showing you how to start. And first you're going to cut out your fabric. So you're going to take your bigger pattern piece. This is the outside of the body. It's going to be like the back and the sides. I'm going to use the plain purple fabric. So you want to cut this on the fold. So open up your fabric, fold it in half, line the straight edge up on the fold like this, and then you're just going to pin it. So it's like this. And then I'm just going to cut out around the whole thing, leaving about 1/2 inch all the way around, maybe 1/4 inch. Okay, then take the pins out, open it up, and you should have a shape like this. Almost a semicircle, but it has a point at the top. And now I'm just going to do the exact same thing with the smaller pattern piece and the pattern fabric, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have both pieces cut out, so they'll look like this when they're done. The big piece and then the little piece. And now I'm going to show you how to pin them together to start sewing. So you're going to take your big piece of fabric and put it right side up, and then take your little piece and put it right side down, and you want to line it up starting in the bottom corner, doesn't matter which one, and you're just going to pin it up into the point of the smaller one. So it looks like this once you're done pinning that. And now I'm going to start sewing, and I'm going to start down here, sew up here, and stop at the point of the smaller shape. And then I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay, I sewed up the first side right here, and that's done. And now we're going to sew up the other side. So take the 2 corners, match those up, and you're just going to pin up to the same point and sew that, and you're going to have this left over on the top, but that's okay. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So this is what it should look like once you sew up both sides. You'll have the small piece, and then this up at the top, and then all this extra fabric on the back from the bigger piece. What you're going to do next is sew this little flap shut. So you probably could have combined this with the last step and just sewn all the way up the side, but anyway, so you just flatten it like this and pin it along here, and then sew starting from this seam up to this corner. Okay, so now that I've sewn this flap shut, it looks like this. So it's flat here, and then it comes to a point. This side looks like this. Now I'm just going to turn it right side out, and it should look kind of like this. It's like a weird kind of cone shape, and the back is just plain. And now what we're going to do is sew straight across here. So where the smaller piece ends, you're just going to flatten it. You can draw a line if you want. I'm just going to eyeball it and just sew straight across that line. So I sewed across that line, and now we're ready to start stuffing. But first I'm going to show you, once you stuff it, see how this is gathered on the bottom? Once it's all stuffed and before you add this piece of felt, see how this stitching is? Just really long stitches. You're going to do that on the fabric, and then you're going to pull it to gather it, but be careful because the thread could break, so just be careful. And then once you tie that off, you're going to take a little circle of felt. So I cut a purple piece, and you're going to stick it on the bottom and just sew around like that. You could also glue it if you want. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back. So I'm in the middle of stuffing my owl, and I have embroidery thread on the needle, and I'm just going to show you, I have like the long stitch, I'm just going to show you how to do it. I leave like a centimeter between stitches. Just pull it in. Now I'm back to where I started, so just come out. And now I'm just going to pull and see it gather. That's what you want to do. So I would just gather it and then add more stuffing until it's full, and then I'll show you what to do next. So here's the stuffed owl. And on the bottom, after I stuffed it and gathered it, I glued and sewed on a little piece of felt on the bottom. And then I took this flap that was here, folded it straight down, and then put like 2 little stitches right on the end just to hold it down. And that's where you're going to glue this little beak shape that I cut out. You're going to glue it like right on the end of that triangle there. And then this is what the eye is going to look like. So for that I used a circle of dark brown felt, a slightly smaller circle of cream colored felt, and then one of these things that I showed earlier. So to make the eye, take the cream colored piece, this little thing, and stick it right through the center. So it's like that. And then you're going to poke it through the brown felt too, but you want the edge of the white circle to line up with the edge of the brown circle. So if you put it right in the center, it's going to look like a bullseye. So it's like that. And then on the back, I'm just going to open out the prongs so you have an eye. And then you're just going to glue both the eyes on either side of the triangle like that. And I'm using rubber cement for this because it works good, but you can use white glue or hot glue or whatever you have. So I'm just going to attach the beak and the eyes, and then I'll come back and show you the finished owl. So here's the finished owl. So there he is. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and thank you for watching. Bye.